And we're here for our return of the Let's Play Extreme Warfare Revenge. Welcome to everybody joining us here on Facebook, Twitch, and on YouTube. For those who don't know, Extreme Warfare Revenge is a 2002, it's almost 20-year-old game. It's text-based booking game for wrestling. It was a cult classic from then, and it's still going to this day, so much so that there is an entire community online that updates the files and puts them up there so people can get their save games or their new games to be the current rosters across the board. Now, of course, some of the mechanics, which we'll get into, are dated for sure and don't really apply to today's wrestlings, but we do the best we can. That said, in the almost 20 years since it came out, there are things called the editors. Some would say cheats, but they allow the game to get to be where we want it to be and have a lot more fun with it 20 years down the road. I will likely be using those. They help us sign some wrestlers that we may really want and get around a little bit of the hard to sign guys or waiting 3 years to get a guy that we should be able to get quite soon. Alright, so that said, let's get as close into this as we can because it's going to get fun here. Alright, well, as fun as we can get, I guess. I'm going to do my best to keep looking at the chats with you guys, see what's going on, but we got a lot going on here. So let me switch over to show you what we've got. So, above my head, we have what will be a spreadsheet that I use myself. I've always used it with the game to help keep track of who we have, what their overness is, and male, female, whether I've used them or not in that show. It's just much easier for keeping track of things. Much, much easier for me compared to what they give you in-game with their little notepad. I also have the ability to, let me just bring it up on my side, to show you the feuds. Now, I keep track of the feuds. This also helps me when booking shows for just knowing who we need to get on the show and where we're at, who's ahead and who's behind in the feud. So the guy I want winning doesn't get ahead in the get more advantage in the feud because it really can hurt the other guy's image, and that's not what we want. We want everyone to work out the best we can, unless it's like an Ahmed Johnson case, so then we just bury the hell out of him. But all right, so as you can see, Extreme Warfare Revenge, Adam Ryland. We've got the new game, load game. I am going to do the new game here. When you get the new game, you have the option to put in the name. We are going to put in Jeff Johnson here because that is who we are. Then we've got the difficulty. I just am a coward, so we will always do easy. This is the part where we will decide what promotion we're going to do. Now, I got a few messages from a few of you on who we should select. And it was kind of a toss-up. There was Ring of Honor, there was NWA, and there was Impact. No one wanted us to do AEW or WWE. Some people said NXT, but because NXT is part of WWE, you can't just do NXT. You have to do Raw, SmackDown, NXT, and NXT UK, like you're basically Vince McMahon booking everything. So, what I think, because it was basically we got a tie between the three, I'm going to go with my own personal. I'm going to look first to see how we are, who we got still in the save game for Impact. I did edit before, make sure the champions are updated for what happened at Rebellion. So let's see here. Make sure. Let's see. Yeah, it looks like we got D'Lo there for commentary. Okay, Caleb. So as you can see, we've got pretty much everybody on there, even Melissa Santos, even though she pretty much doesn't even work for them anymore since she's not doing the Twitch thing anymore, thank God. We got ODB in there, we got Rachel Ellering. There is no Taylor Wilde in here. That's the one thing. Maybe I might have time, we could go back and make sure she gets put in, but I don't even know if she got added in, so we might just leave that. Now, I'm going to start the game here. It's going to take a few minutes for it to, for those who don't know, it takes a few minutes when you start a new game for it to create the game for you. There's a lot that will happen. This is the one I use for our old game, so I'm not going to be continuing that one, so we're just going to do this one. Yes, we're going to call it the Jeff Johnson Wrestling Sound Off Impact. There we go. Alright, so let's take Impact to glory. As you can see, it's going to take up to 10 minutes. It's not going to take 10 minutes. It never usually does, but it can take a little while. If you get your chats in on Twitch, I should be able to see those, no problem. I'm looking here on YouTube while we're waiting. I'm going to check Facebook here as well. Don't mind that noise. My cat's just trying to bury his food, apparently. Oh, wow. That was actually quite quick. So they've made it nice and lean for us here with that new update online. A lot of times they'll get rid of a lot of the access because the game used to have every single thing you can think of. It will create promotions for you on its own during the game. So you will get new competitors but you do have the ability to buy other companies as well. You will be able to buy them out and keep their championships or just retire their championships. So we will get into those kind of things. That's going to be real fun. So as you can see, that actually took much quicker than I thought it was going to take. What we're going to have here, the first day, you never want to sign too many people. You're going to see a lot of people get released. So we can trim the fat if we wanted to, but we're doing pretty good right now. But there are a lot of people that are going to get released from WWE and probably AEW in this game and some of the others. A lot changes in the first week when you start a new game because we put in like the editors and everything put the real wrestlers into like who signed to each show actually is put on. The game says that's way too many people to be in a show on a company, so WWE loses almost 50% of the roster over the first 2 weeks. Kind of like every April now in WWE. Ding. So, let's see. We've got our roster. When is our first TV shows are now? I did update it to make it Thursdays. I did change the last night. I made sure all the TV shows are correct. So you can see here ours is on Thursday. It says none here, so I am going to make sure I get D'Lo on there. There we go. D'Lo is the current commentator. You can ask them what they think. What are you expecting me to say? We haven't even debuted the show yet because technically we haven't done anything yet. So we have no ratings, as you can see over here with the 0. So you can see who your rivals are. These are the people that are in the same time slot. No one for us on Thursdays, which is great. No one taking a rating. But indirect on the same day, we do have Uncharted Territory from Beyond Wrestling and NXT UK earlier in the day. So you can negotiate with your network. Only if you are within the last 3 months of your contract, though, and which we are obviously not with 46 weeks left. But during that time, that's only if you want to extend the contract. Like, you have to be at that end. If you want to change the time slot, you can. But if you're in the prime time slot and you're getting the ratings the network wants, they're not going to do that. You can always ask the network's opinion on the show. We haven't seen any shows yet, so they got no opinion. You don't want to end the contract unless you're willing to pay out the money. So if you were going to use the cheats and just put it up, you can do that. I don't usually do it that way. You can see what the rankings are each week. There is no shows yet to go on. You can do the send out promo tapes as well if you want to add a show, if you want to have more than one TV show. We're not at that point yet. You just want to get into the groove, then you add it, because booking 2 shows a week, it gets to be a lot. Once you get into the groove of the booking, you're great. So we have so if you want to send out promo tapes, you would just boom, boom, boom. But you want to look at the networks first before you ever send out a promo tape. So if you're starting with new and you just want to get a TV show, you want to get that promo tapes out, you would look here. Like, you see the audience, that's the rating. I'll show you where you'll be able to see what your top rating most likely can be. Right now we're on AXSTV in prime time. So our risk level is allowed to be 77%. So your morality rate should be no more, so it should be around 23% at the lowest. That means how much you can get away with. So the higher that is, the more you can actually do. As you can see, the later in the night it gets, the higher the risk. If your risk is too high, they're going to cancel your show. If your audience is not meeting what they want, they're going to cancel your show. Your production values, you must have production values that meet at least that to be on that network. So when you're looking at a network to see what you want to be on, what show you want, you must make sure your production values meet that. And I'll show you where you can see that as well. So if you go into your impact in the main menu, or whatever your promotion call it, it's the promotion button. There's our public image. There's our production values. We're at 65%. Our network wants 45. So we're 20 above that. We're good. Our risk level is 66%, so we could actually raise that a bit. I think I'm going to, because this is impact, and 66 in this game is actually pretty low. So risk level, they'll let me get 77. I think we'll just actually go to 73 just to be good. I think that will give us enough, because your risk level determines what kind of matches are unlocked, like Hell in a Cell, barbed wire death matches, bra and panties matches, because the game was made in 2002. You have to have certain risk levels to get those through. And of course, if your network is unhappy, like if your risk level is going above to get those matches, you're going to lose that network. So you got to be careful of that. There we go. Make that change. So merchandising, I think that's going to be changed. I'm going to go check and speak with my peeps. So there's the production value. What was the other one? Well, I'll show you here. So you can go into a meeting down here, and you'll get to see with all your experts, your writing staff, your scouting staff. They're going to give you advice on what you need to do. So personal assistant Sophie, she's the one that gives you a lot of information, like what our highest rating would be right here. At present, the highest TV rating we could get would be around 3.6. Access can get 0.8. We're going to get 0.8. 100%. If your highest we can get is that high, as long as you're doing a good enough show, boom. Now, this is another important one. You're given our level, the most we can get is skill set 75 and below. So anyone with an overness of more than 75, we can't sign because we're going to be too small for them. We also apparently need a booker for Border City Wrestling, which is apparently our development territory, which you will see development territory and head trainer. You can have both. Trainers, it takes a year to train a class, so we're probably going to want to open that up if we want to have a class 1 year from now. It tells you how much shows you're running. That gives you some money at the time. This is important. We don't have enough referees to cover all the matches. We need to hire some more. So we're going to do that before we do anything else. We are going to hire some referees. This is what I'm telling you about, the 75. So I got to lower this to 75 because that's the maximum skill I can get. I also don't want zeros, so I'm going to raise that right up. Otherwise, I'm just going to see everybody, and we can narrow it down to just referees. Now, we still have a lot, even at that, so let's just go right to 70 and see what our pool is like. There we go. That narrowed it down a bit more. Let's just go right to 74 then and see. Okay, we've got 4. We're just going to hire 2 guys right now. You can always lower this down about 2 and get the contract signed, see? Mark Johnson. Oh, we got to have Slick. We got to have the original NWO referee. If it's 20,000, you're probably only going to be able to go down 1. I don't want to get too greedy with them, so there we go. Perfect. Let me just get a drink here now. Now, another important thing to do on your first day is check your pay-per-view events. Now, I'm good because the people that edited this did a great job. I'm going to put Don Callis on the color commentary for the pay-per-views because you can have different commentary team for the pay-per-views as well as the TV shows. So that's where you can edit it there. I'm just going to put Don Callis on instead of D'Lo just for fun. So we see here February, good. We got pay-per-view. You can see that there's different. Yeah, we should be running at least a large event. So these medium ones, I'm going to change to large. As you can see here, you can have small event, medium event, large event, and pay-per-view event. So if you're not a big company, we're not going to be running pay-per-views. But we can run, so running these are pretty good, but all these mediums need to go large right now because we're already at a level that dictate having that. Uncivil War, I don't know what all these names are that they put in. I could change them if I wanted to, and I may, depending on what we're doing, because these are some of the, like, I'm also going to change these ones, like Turning Point and No Surrender, because these are the old school ones that I love having. Large. There we go. Perfect. There we go. So these will be our events. Now you want to check what the date is, because you can only, if you're in the month, which if I check, it always starts the next month. So we're in April right now, according to your computer clock. So it starts you on the 1st of the next month, which is May 1st. So before you can press next day, you want to make sure your May event right here, which I think they've actually changed that event right now, because they just announced what they are. We're going to check that here. Let me just check that real quick. May Impact Plus. We just want to check what it is going to, what the special is going to be this month. 2021. No, upcoming. There we go. Under Siege. Yeah, that's better than Code Red. So, Under Siege. Simple as that. That's spelled. No, yeah, that is spelled wrong. I before E. Except for all those times it's not. There we go. Under Siege. And then Against All Odds is not on here, but that is meant to be this one here, according to Wikipedia. Against All Odds, according to Phil Collins. There we go. Perfect. There we are. Excellent. So we got us ready. So it's May 16th is this month. So you can always change this on the 1st of the month. It's a Sunday. We're actually probably going to go on the Saturday because it's Impact. So let's do Saturday, May 15th instead. That gives us a little bit to go towards, get our feuds going. And it's Impact Plus, so it's not going to be a major deal if it's not a whole bunch of a feud ending. Because you will set up your feuds, you got to build them, you got to get to a certain level before you can have the blow-off match in this game. Which, as we do it, you'll see. So there we go. So we need to start filling the roster. This is episode today is just getting everything ready to get moving. We want to fill in our roster that you see above me. Here, this is a bit of a tedious process. Because as you can see, we already have a lot of people on here. I have it split on face, and it just makes it easier when you can actually see the visual of the heels, the faces, who we've got. So we're going to run down here real quick. We got Ace Austin. I believe AC Romero. We've got... yeah. So Ace Austin is 52. We want to make sure that we're getting in their overness so that we can get the roster organized properly. It says that AC Romero is a tweener, but we're going to just go ahead and make them XXL's heels from here. So to do that, I could use the cheat, but we're still in the first show. It already says he's an old school heel. I'm just going to prepare him to turn. Yes, he's going to become a heel, which means we actually have to do an event to make him a heel. I could change it, but I'm not going to. These guys are actually, I didn't see that. They're not even signed with him anymore. I'm going to just get rid of Reno Scum. So, terminate contract. Yes. And who's the other one? Lester the Legend, right? Sorry if they're actually watching this and I'm just giving them some bad feels over them being released or their contracts not being renewed, whatever, in real wrestling, but you know what? I just try to start off at the same point as in the real world. So it looks like we're good here. Taurus, we're going to actually call him Black Taurus, like in the actual Impact. There we go. So you see, that's how you can change the name. That simple change. Boom, make change, done. So, where were we? AC Romero's 33. Alex Shelley is currently unavailable, but in the game he's not, so we going to use him. Alex Shelley. And he is 68 overness. We got Alicia. So what I do to differentiate, we can, because it's a spreadsheet, I'm going to turn that to red for all the ladies so that we don't have mixed tags if we don't want it to. But, of course, we always can. But in this game, because it wasn't so common, especially in any of wrestling, let alone in Impact, back then, when this game was created, there's a lot of things that say, I'm not going to lose to a woman. Like, wrestlers will say who they will and who they won't, depending on their attitude. How do they have Crazy Steve in this game? Crazy Steve is Rosemary a face as well? She's a tweener. All right, well, let's do it. Let's make them faces then. Screw it. We are going to have Decay as faces. I love them. Who doesn't love them? Brian Myers is a heel. 57. Brian Myers. Now, I will get in. I will sign some of these guys to written contracts, because if you don't, the big companies can sign them away from you if they are on open contracts. We got Chris Bay is 23 overness. Wow. So you can see their skills here. So you got Brawl 39, Speed 65, Techno 42. You want guys to fight that have similar stats. Either exactly the same speed, exactly the same technical, or very close on 2 of the 3, or perfect. If they're exactly the same on all 3, great. Now the charisma helps them for getting overness, like getting up the card faster, cutting promos. Those are the things you need. Also, you need them to be able to speak, which you'll see here. Speaks yes. Some of the Japanese wrestlers or foreign wrestlers don't speak. So that comes in handy. You got to get them a manager at that point, right, to get them over. All right, we got Sabin at 70 here. Really interesting how we got some of these people over here. We got Crazy Steve. All right, 41. I do have David Finlay signed with an open contract, also working for New Japan US. They are our champions. Now, you could, when they are the champions, what you risk happening is if they are on an open contract and they get signed, the titles automatically vacate. You have no choice. There's nothing you can do. So it is a massive part of this game in a lot of cases. All right, we got Diener now. We got Violent by Design in the game, as you can see here. We're going to have some fun with Violent by Design. I'm telling you that much right now. Come on, there we go. Oh, there we go. And D-Lo is a non-wrestler, so I don't put the non-wrestlers in unless I'm going to actually make them a manager. He's already gimmick a staff member, so I'm just going to leave him that way for now. The charisma also helps with how good they are at commentary, so him being in the high 70s or mid 70s is really good. You also want to always look at their morale. As you can see beside the charisma there, Doc Ellis is at 83. The more you use them in a good way, up. You don't use them, and they are a main eventer, they're going to get pissed, and it's going to start going down. If they're a jobber, you use them once a month, they're usually good. They don't start going down until they haven't been used for a couple weeks. Especially if they're on open contracts, being used really helps them because they get paid more, right? Don Callis is a manager, so I actually have a nice little spot over here for that. 63, there we go. And we got Eddie Edwards as our face here with 69. Like I said, this is the tedious part. I just want to get these in so we can start doing some feuds before we move on to the next day. Right, so Eric Young is going to be a heel. Wrong spot. That's what was going on. I was wondering why it was centered for some reason. So Eric Young is 70. We got the Pinoy boy number 1, Falaba. $47. Heath is good to go too, so that's great. So we're going to have him feuding, obviously, with violent by design. He's got 82 charisma too, which is great. He's going to be a star in the company. We're going to be using him big time. Maybe have him and Jake something become a tag team. That actually might be full fun. What do you guys think? Jake something and Heath? Do you think that's a good tag team? We got James Mitchell. That's another manager over here. Mitchell. We got 52 overness, but his charisma is 88. James Storm, one of our main eventers, although he's actually an upper mid-carder, never mind, but he's got 84 charisma, so you know he's going to get used. And used well in that world title picture. Sorry, Rich Swan. Jazz, we still have her as in here. So we'll make sure we update that to be red so we know. There we go. Jazz red. We got Jessica Havoc, 53. She's a face for us, in my opinion. So Jessica Havoc. We got 53. Alright, Jimmy Jacobs, staff member. Not going to put him in the game. Joe Doring. That is 42. Johnny Bravo, manager. We got him at 38, so he's good for the lower card guys, but not really because he's also only a 62. Johnny Swinger, 48. That was putting in his charisma for a second there. 48. Johnny Swinger. There we go. Jordan Grace. We got 44 for her. So as you can see, you can start to see what the roster is going to look like here. We'll get it all sorted too once we're done. It makes it a lot easier. I just put Havoc, not Havoc. Jeez. There we go. Make these both the right color. Alright, so next we got Josh Alexander. And he is at 54. He is our X Division champion. It says Ethan Page on here, but that is his tag team. But we're going to change that here shortly because there's another spot for tag teams where you have to put in whether they're active or not. And if they're even in different companies, because of the open contracts, they can still be an active tag team. Alright, so we got Juice Robinson here. Now you can see here it says New Japan US because they're an actual company in the game, but then the New Japan Pro Wrestling shows that they are touring, which is a second part. So you can have guys that are touring. They won't be signed away by those companies that are touring with, but they will go away with those touring commitments so that you can't use them during those times. You can't book them in any matches. They can still be in feuds so that their opponent can still cut promos on them on those shows, but they can't themselves be in the show. So Juice Robinson's 58. Let's get it here. There we go, 58. The face is really starting to fill up. Let's see if we got some more heels coming our way. We got Caleb with a K. He actually is a wrestler in this one, so we will treat him that way. There we go. I forgot to make Deanna Prazo red too, didn't I? I did. He's actually more over in this game than Deanna Prazo. We both know in real life that's not true and how Impact books the show. Alright, so we got Carl Anderson now. Carl Anderson, 70 over. Also an upper mid-carder. Then we got Ken Shamrock. Ken Shamrock's a face in this. I don't know if I agree with that, but alright. I think he's actually a heel. We got Kenny Omega. 86. I don't know if we'll have... I think AEW is going to sign him as a written guy here shortly, but we'll try as well. 45 for Kiara Hogan. We got a great women's division in this one. Killer Kelly, they got in the game as a wrestler, even though she hasn't really been used, except for that tournament and around the time when they were booking the tournament, obviously. Because if you're bringing her in, you might as well use them for other matches, right? Kimberly, 39. I disagree that Kimberly would be less over than Killer Kelly right now. We got Larry D. See, he already is a heel where AC was not, so that's strange. But it fits in what we wanted to do anyways, and saves us having to turn him face, which I would not want to do anyways. Madman Fulton, 48. There we go. He apparently has a tag team too. See, Leon Scott, even though that guy's not in the game. Mahabali Shira. Oh, now we're actually getting ahead in heels now. See, I told you, we're going on a run here. They just happen to be all alphabetically synced together. Matt Cardona now, we're moving back to the faces. Alright, Melissa Santos. Oh, she signed for 32 months. Jesus. She's just going to be a waste of money for a while. Because if you terminate a contract with someone that's not happy, that's still happy, they're going to make you pay. You don't want to do that. Because you got to pay the whole contract, so you might as well just leave them there anyways until they get unhappy, then just offer them their release and they'll go away. So Moose is a heel. Yes, sir. 63. And he will be the champion pretty soon in our game, because that's what we're going to do. Contract. See, what you want to do, if you're going to terminate someone's contract, look here. So, nothing, right? So, Jake Christ is the only one. He's not here. So, if you terminate a contract, you're not going to piss anybody off. And because she's not with the company now, I just let her go. Then we got ODB, who technically is still working for them, but just not used now. So, maybe she'll be back again. We got Rachel Ellering, the new Knockouts Tag Team Champion, which I do have updated in this, with Jordan Grace. Rhino, 66. So it's looking like we might be pretty even in the end. Rich Swan, 68. Yeah, I know, this is great stuff, right? Well, you're getting to see a lot of the little bits in here. That's the main thing you can see here, right? So you're getting to see where the morale, we got to see who we're getting it up. You can see all the little stats. And then now you can see how I'm going to keep track and some of the things that you got to do at the beginning. This is just stuff you got to do. So we're here. Well, you don't have to do this part, but trust me, if you want to save time in the end playing this game, having a little spreadsheet like this, it's perfect. It's exactly what you need to have. Rohit Raju, 42. Rosemary, another lady. We're going to put her over on this side, even though she's technically a tweener, but we're going to treat her like a face, because you can do that with the tweeners in this game. So, we got that one. Oh, I forgot OHO and ODB as well. There we go. So let's get them all redded up. It allows you to see that, like, right now I have, like, 4 heel females, but look at all the face females. So it allows you to see exactly where you need to balance it out. But we also got a few more females being added here in a second, as well as now Sammy Callahan. Sammy Callahan. Upper mid-carder. He's also in an open contract with those two. Scott D'Amore is our authority figure. So I do put them in here just so that we know who our authority figures are. We got 58. There we go. The best authority figure in wrestling right now, in my opinion, Scott D'Amore. We got a 57 for Susan. We should almost have them as separate characters, if you ask me, right? All right, so Susan is 57. We got to make sure that gets redded up. Don't know what that... Oh, that was a strike through. There we go. Perfect. So, Swoggle, 48. Does he have any relationships? No. Bye-bye. I don't want to book Swoggle. He was only in a couple... he only comes in and out anyway, so... Tasha Steels, 4-1. And read it up. There we go. Okay, we got just a few more to Neil. 55. There we go. And TJP, 58. Over on this side. So this roster is a pretty big one, so we can do a lot with it. We got Tommy here. Tommy is still technically a wrestler in the game. That's good. So that gives us some more until he chooses to retire. Trey Miguel, 51. Yeah, like I said, it looks like we're going to be pretty even on the roster sides here. We are, because Willie Mack is the last one. It's pretty even right up. Perfect. Don't have to do any really adjustments there. 65. So now we'll just really quickly, you'll see, highlight, data, sort range. We got this O, overness, and name. There we go. So Kenny Omega, obviously number one, as if there's any doubt. Now we do the same thing for the faces, sort range, O, and there we go. So Tommy is our top face, apparently. Rich one, there we are. Okay. So as you can see, the other things we can do is we can change where they are. So there is no roster split. We also want to have an X division. We want to have a tag team division. We want to be able to do that. Sometimes when you're booking a show, you will get the option to just select who you want in that match. So you can narrow it down to just X division, just tag teams, just that. So that makes it easier to search through the guys and make the things quicker, I find. Not always, so it depends, but it also makes sure that you got, like if you have female managers, but you also have female wrestlers and you don't want to use them, it makes it a bit easier for some matches. I don't know. You can just see. So, Ed Nordholm has wished me the best of luck in our new job. That's great. That's where you get your mail every day. That's where you're going to see either show's ratings, who's been released, who's been signed, things like that, which we are going to get into in 2 seconds. I'm just going to double check our titles. We got Deanna with a 54. We got those two's right. Kenny Omega's holding the title. So what I want to do is I kind of want to get all these guys under written contracts before we do anything else, because one day could ruin the whole thing right away. So we got our roster here. Searches. We only want to see those who are under written contract, or open contract, I should say. And the ones that are our champions. So we got Josh Alexander. I want to sign to a written contract. See, when they're happy, they won't sign another contract, so we can't get anything from him. There's no way we're going to be able to sign Kenny. I'm going to offer him the farm here. A lot of money. You can also offer creative control. I never do. He actually signed the contract. We just signed Kenny Omega to a written contract, our champion. That means he just vacated the AEW World title in our game. Yeah, we just stole Kenny from AEW. That's huge. Huge. Perfect. I didn't think we were going to get him. I thought he was going to be. We did what Impact does. We backed the truck up. We did. So we're not going to be able to get Juice Robinson because he is not willing to give up. No one's usually willing to give up their Japanese commitments to sign a contract. Doc Gallows, we may lose those guys. Deanna Prazo, we got to sign. She's willing to sign. Perfect. So we're going to give her 22. Perfect. She's signed. So what I do on our roster, if they're signed to a written contract, I bold them so that I know these are people that we want to use, because they don't cost us any more to use them than already are costing us. Because written open contracts are pay per use. Every time you use them, you pay them that amount. Written contract, you pay them that much per month, no matter how much you use them. That's what you want, and it saves a lot of money in the long run, especially if you're building up your promotion. I'm just trying to see who else do we have here. We want Jordan Grace. We want to lock her down. Jordan Grace already is locked down, so she's under a written contract. That's why she's not showing up here. Rachel Ellering, on the other hand, Rachel Ellering looks like she is too. Let's just go to all contracts, see what everybody's at. So where's Jordan Grace? There she is. Yeah, she's got on. Great, perfect. Rachel, where are you at, lady? Written, perfect. They're signed, so we're going to update that over on this side. Jordan and Rachel are signed. All right. Neil's signed. Let's see who we have under signed written contracts here. So Alex Shelley and Chris Sabin. There we go. Deanna Prazo, yeah. Eddie Edwards and Eric Young are both under written contracts. Then we got Falaba. That's good. Interesting. There's Falaba. We got Heath under a written contract. That also helps. James Storm. Having your main event top guys, that really helps. Tennille Dashwood. Scott Moore. There we go. Who else do we got here? We got Rhino. Where's our Rhino? There's Rhino. I want to get Moose under a written contract too, so that's the next one we're going to do. We're just going to try to get that as much as possible here. Johnny Bravo, for some reason, is under a written contract. All right, so let's go back to those open contracts. We definitely want to get Rich Swan. Moose, we said, right? Yeah. He's happy, unfortunately. That sucks. How's Rich Swan doing? He's also happy. Okay. Let's see what we got going here. All right, well, I think we'll try to move forward like that. We got Ace Austin. Let's see if we can get him. So, no. All right, you know what? All these people are happy. What about, who's Juice is with David Finley? I wonder if we can get him signed. Because he doesn't have... No. All right. Well, that sucked. All right. Trey technically is probably under... No, see, we can't get him because he's got these two, I think. Oh, no. TJP is going to let us. I want TJP. So I'm going to go from 40 for 2 years. Yeah, see. If they do that, you can still get them if you offer them a bit more money. I'll go 50. I'll go 55. See? You can eventually get them. You just got to offer them the money because they're already working for another company. So you start backing the truck up to them, they start signing with you. Josh Alexander. Really wish we could sign him to a written contract. Jake something. All right, well, let's just see what happens here when we move forward. We're going to go ahead one day, and then we'll wrap up the show for the day. And then we'll be back next week, and we'll start booking. Yeah. So you guys will know who our roster is. You guys can come up with some ideas and let us know where you kind of want us to go forward to. Because it's an old game, you never want to click on that screen when you see that loading screen coming up. So as you can see, we've got some mail. It's highlighted again. So we got 271. We forgot to sign a sponsorship deal. See, that's what I forgot. All right. Oh, that means we got some really bad sponsors coming. This is usually where I use the cheat. I'm going to because we forgot to do one thing. So, the one thing that you want to use to get the best... Where are we? Which one is it? Here. I believe it is our promotion editor. Is it? Yes, sponsor stuff. So, as you can see, I'm showing you right here. This is our cheat. It will show you how to get it. So, what we want to do is sponsor stuff. Same as before. Go to the sponsor screen, select the sponsor that you wish to do business with. click on the offer main minor sponsorship button, which one is up to you depending on your needs. Click the 0% morality button to put the morality down to 0%, and then click on the one that public image, whichever represents your company. So what we got to do, I'm going to move that for a second. We want to get the ones that offer the most money. So we don't care about that. We want the ones that are going to offer us big money, because we need to make the money. Sponsorship money is the most important thing. There we go. So we probably can keep going up until there's only 4 left. Alright. There we go. We got 5. So 99, who's the big one? There we go. Snickers is our big one. Visa's a big one. We'll go with Visa. So offer main sponsorship. With the make the offer, we're going to put we are at cult, and we're in the big one. 51, 0%. Yes, they accepted the deal because we changed what it was. So search again. We got Snickers, offer minor sponsorship now because there's only one main sponsorship. Same thing. So I'm going to show you. We click on we are in cult, and between our image is between 51 and 100. We're in the 70s. And then our morality we'll put 0, so that means if your morality is 0, they'll sign with anybody. That's what we want. So make the offer. Yes, they accept the deal. Now we'll just take any of them. Offer minor. Once more with feeling. Did I close it out? I think I did. I gotta keep using it. Alright, so I just moved it off so you don't have to, it's not blocking. There we are, 0%. Make the offer. Yes. And Subway just for fun. Offer minor sponsorship. Cheap. There we go. So that's going to make us our money. That's what we want. It's going to help pay for Kenny Omega's contract. Then that you don't care what TV you're on. Production values. Let me just make sure that we've got everything else before we look at those messages. Okay, so we've got that. We got that. Writing staff. They're not working. Caleb with a K should be pushed up. That's good to know. Medical staff. We need to hire more doctors. We're good. We're good. Scouting staff. So this would tell you people that you could sign that, but as you can see, they're all old fogies, like Raven, who's awesome, Credible, Bully Ray. We might actually sign. Actually, give me 1 second. I'm a Bully Ray, Mark. What can I say? Contract negotiations. Where is he at? Yeah, he's going to be a main event. Should we make him a face or should we make him a heel? I say we bring him in as a face, just for fun. Now, I should be able to get away with 52. Yeah, perfect. So, there we go. We've got Bully Ray signed. That's our first signee. And he is going to be our first feud with Kenny Omega. Or we could do Tommy Dreamer get destroyed by Kenny Omega, but we're not going to do that. So we are going to have Bully Ray versus Kenny Omega. It will suck because those two are not the same skill level. But what can we say? It's going to be a fun. There we go. So they give you a message for the sponsorship deal. So we want to get rid of those. Previous. All these sponsorship deals. They usually only show you the people that are at your level and above. But when you're at a lower level, that's still a lot of people. So we can see all the... Oh, look at that. NWA signed Makazi. I wonder if Sasha Banks is liking that. They fired. So you'll see they fire a lot of people too. Here you see they're signing and firing. This is all the staff member section. Have signed staff member Tim Horner. Okay. Let's see what else we got here. Just seeing if we got any wrestlers. Let's go to the start here. So you can go all the way to the beginning. We don't need any of these. These are just the ratings, as you can see, 0.6. Here we go. This is where all the releases happen that I told you about WWE. Serena Rocky, anyone interesting. It's usually all the people that you would say are all the lower level talents. Sarai, though, that's... and Kavita Devi. They let those two go. Then now we're AAA, getting rid of all their roster. ROH. Okay. Sledge. Yeah. So, doesn't look like... we got AEW releasing anyone here. MLW. And... this is what we want. Kylan King. Griff Garrison. Venny. Chris Statlander. Let's make a note of Chris Statlander. Because we're going to sign Chris Statlander. Okay? Alright. Then we got Aaron Solo. May Segura. Dante Martin. Ryo Mizunumi. AR Fox is working now. You'll see NWA have got a lot of people. Will Ospreay has apparently agreed to an open contract with NWA. They're really getting the money there, aren't they? Flamita, Rey Horace, a lot of the ROH guys. These guys are all obviously under open contracts with other companies. Vic Joseph. All right, so that looks like it's all. We'll see more people released after we finish this one day. But I think we're going to end it at that point for today. I know it was a lot of housekeeping, a lot of stuff going on, a lot of explaining what the game is. We'll even explain more of it as we go forward. We'll be back next week as we get into more of the nit and gritty of the game. If you enjoyed it, be sure to like us on like the video. If you can, follow us on Twitch, subscribe to us over on YouTube, and like and follow the Facebook page. Till next time, guys, which is tonight at 8 o'clock. Right? Yes, we will have a live stream tonight, as every Wednesday night now, for AEW Dynamite. We'll see you then, and we'll see you next week for more EWR.